Hello friend, it is Pat Sloan here for my daily video and topics of the day. Plus I am going to do a second part to talking about taking that cross stitch and making it into a pillow. Might even be a third day, tomorrow or the next day, to get it done and show it to you. And a bit more about the quilts that are coming in. I'm going to show you that Minky backing, but first our topic of the day is bag it. I love bags. I have not been making as many bags as I used to in the past, but last year I did a trick-or-treat bag. And so if you missed that, missed seeing the trick-or-treat bag, missed making one, what today's topic challenge is if you want to whip up a little tote bag from my pattern. I've linked it below. I happen to have used a panel on this one. There's a different panel on both sides. This was from last year, so those panels aren't around anymore, but it also has a flange here, which is kind of fun because I wanted to, I don't know, play around. I hadn't done one of those in a long time, so it's nice. I'm going to hang it on my banister going up to my hallway, so I have a little holiday decoration because I'm not going trick-or-treating, and I personally have not been trick-or-treating in many, many years. So that's what this is for. So if you've already made a trick-or-treat bag and have something like this, cute little tote bag for fall, share a picture of it. So that is what we're doing. I loved making that. So I'm going to have to stuff some stuff in it, like crinkly paper or something, to make it, like, you know, look a little fuller when it's hanging on the banister. So yesterday I listed all the winners for the Morrison Park tour. Everybody had been emailed and responded. So that's how these things work. You know, you will get an email, and so that's all taken care of. But I went ahead and put the list down yesterday, so I'll link that below in case you want to go take a look at that. And I promised to show you the Morrison Park, show you all the fabric again. We will have a bunch of things going on with the fabric because I'm sewing the Socialite with my Morrison Park. Here, I'll bring this down here while I'm talking. So I've got, I'll just lay it out while I'm talking. So I'm going to be sewing I am already sewing the Socialite with the Morrison Park, and then I will be doing the charity quilt for next year with this. And we're waiting for some fabric to come in, most notably this background fabric, to get the kits made. So we'll have, there's two different kits, so you can pick one of those, and we'll sew up the kit quilt that I've showed you. Here's the floral, the main floral. Ah, love it, love it, love it. I still need to make more things from it. So we're also going to do Wendy's from the tour, Wendy's elephants. I wanted to pick one of the projects from the tour, and I decided, well, you know, Wendy lives just down the street from me, not that far away, and I thought her elephants were just so darn sweet that this is the one we're going to do. So we're going to sew this, and then I think I have maybe one more, you know, sort of surprise that I'll do with a layer cake later this year. Later this year, we're already the late October. I don't know what I'm talking about. I have to go look at my schedule to figure out when we're going to do all these things. But November, December, January, we'll sew things with Morrison Park. Maybe even into February. Well, Socialites will be, and the charity quilt will both be going into, you know, wait a couple of months into next year. So there we go. Da 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 da. And the Paisleys. So here they are. Just stick them over here. There's all of Morrison Park. Ta-da! And so you can order layer cakes and charm packs, jelly rolls, fat quarter bundles. All of those are available, and you can buy yardage. There's a couple pieces that the yardage they're waiting for more to come in because you all liked it so much. Thank you, thank you. So you'll see that. You can also ask your favorite quilt shop, if you have a local shop, to be sure that they ordered it because it's all available. Benartex keeps their fabric around. They reprint it, which is nice. So there you go. And I am Wendy's pattern. I have to wait for it to come in at the fat quarter shop, And so when it does for the elephant stomping grounds, then I'll look at, I'm looking at late November to start that, if that's possible. You know, I have to look at my schedule and see what all kinds of things I have. But I'm thinking on my birthday, maybe in November, to kick that off, and then maybe have it for like every Monday, something like that afterwards. My birthday is not on a Monday, but after will be on Mondays when I have the fireside chat post, and I just think that would be sort of fun thing to do. Kind of like like at the very start, the very end of November through December. Yeah. So there you go, Morrison Park. Now, I was doing the pillow with the cross stitch, and I thought I would show you the next process step and how I'm thinking through making this work. So I have done this first part where I took the cross stitch and I backed it. I have some fusible, I first put fusible fleece on the back of the cross stitch. And a tip is when you're fusing fusible fleece, it's a poly blend, so I put a piece of cotton over top of it so it doesn't like accidentally your iron, it might not be too hot and stick to it, you know, you don't want that. So I sewed it like a pillow, turned it inside out, which I'm going to show you with the next piece, and there's an opening here, right? So I am probably going to hand stitch that, just because I know from experience when I just leave it to top stitch, it doesn't always look as professional, so I'm just going to hand stitch that one shut. Now that is going to lay on top of the purple. The purple I have sewn this, it's not turned yet, so I'm going to turn that for you. Let me just show you what I do. And so I left an opening, which is the same thing I did with this. I leave an opening in the side. I don't know, I just find visually the side is a little bit easier, and to, like, your eye doesn't look like at the top, at the bottom, like the side you just don't see it. Okay, so before I do this though, you see how the corners are pointy? I will take scissors and cut the corners like that, because I want to take away the bulk. So there we go, I've got 4 corners. So I'm gonna get rid of that bulk there. And then I'll turn it inside out. Where'd the hole go? Oh, here it is. And I back stitch at the hole before the stop and start. So I back stitch and I leave enough room to turn it. You don't want to be, I have done that before. Sometimes, especially with that cross stitch, it's thick. You don't want to make too skimpy of a hole that you then have a hard time turning it. So you turn it. So this is the purple that I'm going to be using. And I have one of these purple thing. This is a tool for poking, and I will put it in the corner like this. You can also use a chopstick. You just want something blunt, because if you take your scissors in there, you're going to poke through the fabric. So I need to poke all these squares, these corners out, and then and I will do it much neater. But I just want to do it quick because I want to show you the next part. I want to show you how I auditioned for this purple, the size of the purple fabric. There we go. All right, so now I will press that really nice, and it has that opening, which I might hand stitch that one shut too. So I have this. You could, you know, top stitch it, but there's still layers. We're building layers here, so there's a little bit of things going on. Let me, okay, come down here. So this will lay on top of this, right? So there we go. So that is what I'm going for, is having this, you know, framed basically. So instead of sewing patchwork, what I'm doing is I'm making these like little pillow covers or little appliques, turned appliques, however you want to think about it. And that's here. Now if I wanted to take this rickrack, remember I talked about the rickrack? Well, if I want to take that under here, I would want, for me, I want it to be like peeking. Only like half of the rickrack would show, just like half the bumps, not both sides of it. So I would want it to be under here like this, which I think looks really, really darling. But it is going to be a bit tedious to accomplish that. So I am thinking there's a couple things I could do. I could use some glues This is not cotton rickrack, which means these glues don't always adhere as well to this rickrack. I don't know, it's nylon. So, and then, or I could try the glue stick, you know, that comes off there. So this is a glue stick made for fiber. And what I want to do is attach it to the cross stitch, attach it to here. I don't want to have to fiddle around placing it on the purple. I want to attach it to this one where I know it's just peeking out. And then I can also just sort of miter turn the corner, so I don't have, you know, a raw edge at the corner. I would just miter turn it. See, it's just like bending it. I just bend it like that and have it go down the other side. If I do all of this on the back, if I can get it to stick with the glue, I will. If not, I might just come and baste it on there by hand. And then I can put it on the top. Now this, I'm going to move this. I'm going to move it over here. This all is going to go onto the actual pillow. Oh. So I've got over here, here's the pillow top. Now, this is my Bonnie Lane, the orange from the Bonnie Lane, and I have muslin or white, off-white, and batting. Here's the batting. See, and then I quilted it just in the darker ones because I want this to sit on top of the pillow like that. And it gives me enough room to sort of manipulate it. Plus, I wanted this framing to not be broken up by patchwork. I didn't want seams in it, and basically I'm appliquing layers down. Now, I did not quilt in the cross stitch. I thought about it, but you know, this is a pillow and nobody's going to use it. It's decorative, so I don't really need to do that. What I do need to do is get this attached to this and this attached to this. So I am thinking that, one, I could just applique them. You know, I'm going to put the rickrack on here, but I think I'm going to just tack this one down through the layers, through the cross stitch. Just do, you know, tack it in a few places, right through there, right through the cross stitch holes onto the purple. And then the purple, I might just hand applique to this background. The reason why I'm thinking of doing that is because if I hand applique it, then I don't have the stitches and having to be worried about them sort of compressing down. It'll make it feel a little bit lighter, but you could just top stitch that purple, and I may end up doing that because, you know, this is a lot of handwork I'm just talking about, and I'm not as fast with that right now. I'm doing really good, but you know, I can only do so much. So I might just top stitch the purple down. And to be sure that it's where I want it, I am going to glue it. I am going to do a little bit of basting glue around the edge. I will take this purple and put a little basting glue here and then place it where I want it onto the orange. That way it doesn't shift. If I'm using pins, I have a high probability of something shifting or not, you know, just a little bit on the angle. And because I'm dealing with a stripe, I want to place it right, you know, right on the stripe so it's even and you don't get this sort of tilt going on with it, which is the added, you know, if this were like a floral or a geometric of some sort that wasn't so obviously looking at a straight line, then I wouldn't need to, maybe I could pin it down, but I'm going to glue baste it. So this is the pillow in progress. This is where I'm at with it, which is pretty far along. So I'm pretty excited about that. It's, to my mind, it's, you know, almost done. So I'll probably have one more video where at least I'll show you the finished pillow, but I might show you putting the two envelopes. I'm not going to sew it, but I'll just show you the envelope part of the backing, because basically it's two rectangles that are overlapped so that it's just a flap. I'm not putting a zipper in or any of that stuff. So there you go. That's the pillow. So I don't know, are you going to make a pillow? I'm finding this kind of fun with the cross stitch, and how I could, you know, envisioning how I could reuse that process so that I could sort of have the same pillow over and over again, or at least a couple of them that I just change out, you know, like what's on the front. All right, my friend. Thank you for being here. The links are below so you can make yourself a tote bag. I hope you do. If you've never done one or don't have a trick-or-treater bag for decorating with, hope you make one today. Okay, I love you. See you online.